Hey guys, Anthony 4v4 Diesel. Just a bit of information in regards to, look, I try and show you these things you need to check out, what to look out for when purchasing, and what you need to look out for in preventive maintenance, wear and tear, the things you need to replace. Now, the front lower control arms are something, it's not a big problem, okay? These can last hundreds and hundreds of thousands of kilometers, okay? We've seen them on cars over 400,000 Ks, right? So for anyone that's not sure what we're talking about, these are the front lower control arms, right? So there's a bush at one end here, right? If you follow it along to the other end, there's another bush in there, and there's a ball joint over at that end there, comes with the arm. So to give you a bit of information with these arms, that's how they come, with the bush and the ball joint. You cannot buy the ball joint genuine separately. So I'm just going to give you a bit of information about them, the averages when they fail, only what I know about options for replacement of bushes and arms, and only prices where I know what the answer is. On my vehicle, I chose to replace the whole genuine arm at 250,000 Ks. I could say there's a problem, but it's not a problem. The issue is where, look, we have seen them at 300,000 Ks where they're completely chopped out and there's like no bush left. But if you have a look at this set here have done about 130,000 kilometers thereabouts, ballpark, and you can see there's no split there. So you see that rubber there where the numbers are. You probably find that's the part number for the bush, in case you're interested. And just up to the right, there's like a hole through there, and same on the left there. It's not a full section of rubber, you know. There's like rubber, say, top and bottom, left and right. I'll show you a little bit more detail in a minute, I think. But have a look at this one. Same thing, no splits at all, right? So we know that these can be run off-road. This is off-road. This has been Touring Australia vehicle, okay? This is our 120 series, guys. It's been up and down the Tannenbaum, over the Simpson. It's been, you know, up and down tracks, Tassie and, you know, Fraser, and up the Cape and all these things, up and down the Gibb River Road, whatever, right? You know, it's been hammered around, and those bushes aren't split in 130,000 Ks of off-road use. In one of our other videos, you might want to watch it. I'll just quickly mention this, but try not to double up too much. I'm trying to keep it short. We've got a couple of other videos. I don't know what they're called. It might be, you know, lower control arms or replacing, or when to replace the lower control arms. There's two videos, right? One goes for about 2 or 3 minutes, and one goes for about 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know which one's which, but there's about 5 minutes worth altogether. Worth watching. It's probably got a bit of info in there. So what happens is, if you don't look after it, or for a number of other reasons, I'm not going to go into too much. This is more about the options for solutions, okay? So I'm going to have the solutions here, but just quickly, I just want to say, so the worst of the bushes is normally the back one, and they split through from the, look, you know, it's a bit hard. I do need a pointer, don't I? But I'm going to sort of do this, right? They split from there, kind of like there, down along here slowly, right? So where the numbers are, down through the numbers. Now, you can replace the bushes. Of course, you can buy the bushes. Now, to give you an idea price-wise, to buy those 1, 2, 3, 4, it's about $400 or $500 worth of bushes, probably closer to 5. So $500 worth. Then you've got quite a bit of labour. They can be very difficult to get out of these arms depending on the use the arms have had. So it does vary. Some will go, some people will go, oh, it's easy, what are you talking about? And some will go, oh yeah, you know. The arms can get bent and all sorts of things, and then they're in the wrong position. Long story short, there's not a lot holding them in. They're not a full length press fit. It's only the last sort of 8 to 10 millimeters where it's an interference fit that holds it in. So depending if you damage the arm or not, whether they actually stay in there, and then you can be driving around, and if the arms are bent, and sort of the arms can be sliding up and down like this on the bush is in place, but the arm's not. Anyway, so save all this drama, and so that you get your brand new, we don't see problems with these lower ball joints, but if you do at a later date, then you've got to replace that. Another painful job, and you can only get aftermarket. You can't buy a genuine ball joint. It comes with the arm. So I go, you know what? You've got 10 years, 15 years out of them, whatever. You know how long they last. 250,000 Ks ballpark, 300. If you look after them, maybe longer, more or less. They're not cheap, but they're good value for money. When you spread that cost over the years, it's not a big deal. So what are your options? I'm going to go over to the bench and let's have a look at a new set, and I'll give you what the options are. There's a new set here, right? So this is probably the most reliable, simple, straightforward, practical, I don't know what words to use, you know, it's kind of not cheap. If you buy if you go into a Toyota dealership in Australia and ask how much is a set of lower control arms, you know, like this complete, people are I'm being told that they're being quoted $1,200 and $1,300, about $2.5 grand for the pair. Yeah, did you fall off your chair? I know. I hope you were sitting down. They're not cheap. So, what are the options? You can risk it and change the bushes. Now, the bushes obviously come out that way. That flat section is, you haven't seen the picture there, you can't see anyway a lot. So these bushes, they come out, that bush goes out that way and the one at this end goes out that way, right? So you can do that, and you can put the old arms in at 300,000 k's with the old ball joint, or you can get a ball joint as well and end up with an aftermarket ball joint. I don't know how that's going to work out for you. I really don't. I've never done it. These aren't a big problem. I'm just showing you the things that eventually need replacing. Now, so you can do the bushes, you can get aftermarket bushes to replace here, you can get Super Pro bushes, you can get Super Pro arms, you can get other brands. I don't know how much they are. All I know is how much these are. I know how long they last. I know the nice soft ride. There's a reason Toyota chose rubber. Some people will tell you, oh, I put Super Pro, the ride's not, because it's it's like a poly material, right? There's some positives to the design, but there's some negatives, and that is, some people say, yeah, the ride is definitely harder. They've said that to me. What would I know? I don't have them in my car. I just listen to what people say. Some people, you know, say everything's perfect. Some people say it's not. So you've got to listen to everyone, and what I'm hearing is some people telling me the ride is definitely harder with those. So if you don't like the sound of that, then you probably want to stick with rubber. How long are they going to last? I don't know. Do they have a lifetime warranty or a long warranty or something? I'm not sure, but how many times do you want to go back? These, we know how long they're going to last. We know how long those ball joints are going to last. So it doesn't bother me what you choose to do. It's just people ask, oh, you know, my lower bushes are like, what do I do? Well, on my car, I put new lower arms in because I went, well, they've done 250 odd thousand Ks, whatever it is. I'm happy to get another 250. So obviously we get things a bit cheaper. They're quite heavy, so you know, shipping wise and packing, it's a bit of a pain, all that sort of thing. If you want to get a pair of these off me, and I'm not saying that I want to do it or you have to do it, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to sell your arms. It doesn't bother me if you do it or not, but of course, if you choose to go through me for your parts, I appreciate that. And the best time to contact me is Monday mornings from 8 AM with a text message. No calls, just text message. The phone doesn't ring. I need your name, obviously, the vehicle details, what you need, what you text me about, what it's regarding, and we can take it from there. These arms, at this stage, on current pricing, I believe they're going to be about $1,700 delivered to your door. Okay, so it's a saving of about $800, right? And you don't have to go out and get them, just a few text messages, pay for it, they'll turn up. Now, it's not something we're keeping a lot of them on the shelf, or necessarily any on the shelf. If we do, it might be just a pair like that. So all that's got to happen is someone sees this video, calls up, buys them, and then there's none. So the point is, Toyota dealers don't have these stockpiled, either does the warehouse, because people don't buy them. They're an expensive option. They've got them at 12, 13, $2.5 grand, right? But once it comes back to 1,700, not bad when you spread that over 10 years, right? For some people, maybe 15. What is it, $100 a year? You know what you're going to get, the reliability of the genuine part. It works, the Toyota engineering. So if you want those, please don't do it in a hurry. Plan well ahead. And remember, I'm usually on holidays, all school holidays. And because of COVID-19 in 20, that's 2020, you know what? Once we're allowed out, who knows when I'm coming back. So it doesn't matter what parts you need, not just these. Please prepare for delays, plan ahead, and just be aware that there's a good chance that it might be a little bit harder. And the reason we put the kits together, so you get all those components all together in one, like the injector kit or the BFE kit or those wheel bearing hubs, it's to make it easier for you guys. So obviously it is one of the best options. That's why a lot of people go for it. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of that. One of the biggest ways to help look after your bushes is correct suspension setup. One of the biggest causes of problems with these bushes is when the caster adjusts. You know what? Sit tight. I'll just grab one for you. Should have planned this ahead earlier. And this isn't part of standard replacement. It's if these you can get these out, right? And you can clean them up and you can reuse them. But if they're seized and you can't get them out, then you need to cut them off, right? So that goes in there like that, right? That's your wheel alignment adjusting, right? So these sit between the steel, and as you turn that, the arm moves back and forward, right? I don't know if you knew that, but anyway, the point is, Toyota put these in, right? Yeah, Toyota, genuine parts. So I don't send these as standard replacement. These are sitting here for just in case you can't get, these are C's, right? So what you do if they're stuck, you spray some spray on there and you try and work them and you give them a tap, and usually you can get them out. But if you can't, you've got to cut them out. So it becomes a messy job. Don't talk to me about labour, I don't do it. I can send you to someone that does, but it can get a bit messy. We've got to cut them out, and then of course you need to replace them. That's why we've got them in stock, because there's no point having a situation where this happens and you're doing the fitting and you haven't got these. So these are there for you guys that if you got the arms off us and you have trouble getting them out, you can contact me and say, hey, I need those. And at the other end there's bolts. You don't normally need them. It's only ever usually this end. We've got 2 in stock for the 120s, 2 in stock for the 150s. All right, they are different arms. I hope that answers that question as well. But the key is, when someone does, if this has been sitting in this position like this for many years, right, just say like that, and all the sand and dirt and grit and mud and rust and corrosion and that's seized. When someone does a wheel on it trying to turn this, instead of spinning freely like that, it actually twists the bush, and then they're loading up this bush here, and that's what damages the bush over time. It's loaded up. They can only flex to a certain percentage or degree, and it's already past that, or it's on its limit, and then when you're bouncing over sand dunes or speed humps or whatever it is where your vehicle's used, that's the biggest thing that damages bushes. You need to slow down over those speed humps, slow down on those off-road tracks, and you'll look after your bushes, and you won't cost yourself $1,700 or $2.5 grand or anything else. But if they are cracked, the other thing I just want to briefly say, watch the other videos. I've got more information, the videos that say what to look out for when purchasing a PRADO, or how to service your PRADO, major service on any of these. Just watch all the videos, right? It's a million-piece jigsaw puzzle. This is just one piece. So, and it'll describe, it'll tell you about the bushes and how far. Just because they've got little cracks in them doesn't mean you go ahead and spend all this money and replace these. I'm not here to sell you arms. I'm here to tell you I think this is the best solution. I can save you $800 if you want to do that. I'm not trying to sell you the arms. I'm just saying, if that helps you out and you can be patient and you're prepared to order them and wait, you know, the amount of time it takes, or we might have a pair on the shelf, you never know. I can help you out with that. It's up to you guys. All right, I think I've included everything I need to include. It's not a problem. Same sort of thing on other vehicles with bushes as well, but quite often you can get the arms off and get the bushes out pretty easy. There can be a lot of issues getting these bushes out. They go, if you see the flat thing, they go that way. So there's a hole there, you can punch that and push the bush in and all sorts of things. But I'm telling you, just like these can get stuck in there, these bushes from that hole and the penetration of the rust and corrosion, they can get stuck in there. And when people are trying to press them like this, right, they're pushing that way. If it's not supported, it can actually bend the arm, leaving the arms further open, which means when the bushes are in position, yeah, long story short, believe me, for the sake you're going to do this once every 10 years, this is the way to do it in my opinion. Hopefully you got something out of that. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe, turn the bell on, more information coming your way. Catch ya.